Hey, it's Great Educator Mindsets. This is Brian Reindl, your coach, coming to you today from the other corner of our basement where I keep my whiteboards all around the room for me to work with for my personal life and for sharing with you. And today I wanted to follow up with my video where I talked about 4 levels of commitment and share with you something I learned from my coach called 4 degrees of action. And these 4 degrees determine your level of success. And I can tell you I've been at all 4 levels in my life, and I'm sure you have too. So let's start at, and this is in terms of any goal that you have set for yourself, any change you want to make, anything you want to get done. What is your level of action? What degree of action are you taking? And the first degree is to do nothing. This is when you find every distraction you can to keep you from doing what you want to do. And even making these videos, it's the afternoon and I did this and this and this and this before I came down and just did the work. I made it down here, but I was finding distractions, anything to take my mind off of the work that I needed to do. This is where we make our stories, our excuses for why we're not doing something. And you know what this level of action leads to? Fail. You won't get your outcome. The second degree of action is to retreat. And this is when things get hard, right? We want to go back to the way we were. We worry about being rejected for our beliefs or for what we're doing. We worry about, we let these fears come into our head. It could even be our fear of success. Well, what if I am successful? How will I keep up this new lifestyle? Let's say I do lose 25 pounds. Will I be able to keep it off? I don't think I can keep it off. And we start to retreat. And you know what? That's happened to me before. I took massive levels of action to lose over 60 pounds. Then I let other things distract me, like getting a new job here in Green Bay, all of the commuting, and I started to make excuses. I didn't have time. I had to have my coffee on the way. I wasn't prepping my food, so I had to go out for lunch every day. Excuses, excuses. I started to retreat. I gained back 25 of those pounds, and I had to come back and take more massive levels of action in order to get to where I am again today. So retreat equals fail. All right. So what about some normal levels of action? What do we mean by that? This is the average life that most people live. It's kind of like you're busy all the time, but are you truly productive? Are you really making a difference in your life by what you're doing? It's that middle class level. It's that settling for average, those normal levels of action. And if you think about it at school, what is a normal level of action that you might be taking that you could bump up a notch to really equal success? So if you're only taking normal levels of action, guess what? Your results are, you're going to have an average result or an average life, right? So you might have still those students who will struggle and you just move them on to the next grade because that's the average, right? There's always a few kids who won't make it. But if you take massive levels of action, that is when we get success. We know that some students in school need massive levels of action to get untangled, to get remotivated, to work on growth mindset because they've had this sense that they're either right or wrong and they shut down or they act out when they come up against the wall. They're not willing to work through it. What about you in your personal life? Are you taking daily responsibility for your actions? Are you every day tracking your food, prepping your food, having your food ready to take for lunch? That's made all the difference for me. I take my black cooler along to lunch, and those of you who work with me at Fort Howard see it on the counter every day. And I'm eating all day long, but I've planned it out ahead. I know what I'm going to eat that day. I pre-log it into my Lose It app on my phone. The night before, I go in, I put down every single thing I'm going to eat. So I know exactly how many calories, when I'm going to eat it, and that my macros are just right. 40% protein, 30% fat, 30% carbs for me right now in my goals of continuing to lose more fat. That's a massive level of action that some people might not commit to. They might take normal levels of action, which might just be cutting back on food, but you're going to get an average result. You have to take massive levels of action to really have success. You have to be 100% in all the time on whatever you're committed to. Go back to those 4 levels of commitment. Where are you committed to and doing the work? And are you taking massive levels of action? That will equal success, whether it's with your students. You could share this with your students, couldn't you? You could share the hierarchy of commitment, because they need to know this too. If they don't do the work during independent reading, or they say, I can't do it, so I'm not going to try, right? I'm not going to write my paper over again. Or they take normal levels, you know, they're doing their work, but not really getting anywhere. Or are they taking massive levels of action to help them equal success? This is a concept that I'm sharing with you. I have not mastered it, and I go back and forth. The last couple of weeks I've been teetering back and forth with my nutrition between these two. Time to bump it up again, Brian, to my massive levels of action. So figure out what you want to take massive levels of action on. Stay 100% committed, it will equal success, and keep up your great educator mindset. If you have not shared these videos with colleagues and friends, they can be educators, not educators. If you think it would make a difference in their life, please do send these videos on to your friends. And be sure to subscribe in YouTube so that you can keep getting updates and new videos as I post them. Have a great summer. If I don't see you, take care. And this is Brian Rounder, your coach and mentor for great educator mindsets. Take care.